September 28, 2021. How's it going, guys? Got another video for you. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about several things. Got a story for you. Back in 1985, I took a girlfriend out to California. Me and my parents, we went out there. And why I'm bringing this up is California always amazed me because, it's like a big, just like New York City, where they came in, all the immigrants. I mean, it's amazing to see people to come in from different countries that have never been here before. And we assume a lot of things that we shouldn't assume because we here in the United States have had it pretty good. And we basically take for granted a lot of things. And what I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to be talking about viruses and bacteria and contagions. But where this goes from is what I was going to explain to you is that me and my girlfriend was on the monorail there, and my parents, they were sitting off to the other side, and there was a Japanese girl that spoke to us, and all of them out there, everybody always seemed really friendly, anybody you met out there, out west, and asked me if that was my grandma, and I said, oh no, I said that's my mother. Well, the way things are set up in this day and age, women have babies a lot later than they used to. And back then, my mother basically was pretty much ahead of her time in that sense because basically she was like the way the women are today that wait, a pretty long time before they have their children. But why I bring this up is because different people from different countries don't understand certain things. And what I want to get to here real quick is me and my son, we go up to the amusement park up here in Kansas City, World's Fun, Oceans of Fun, we hit when it's open. And a couple weekends back, there was a boy that went up to one of the security people that actually or maybe it was more like a supervisor that was driving a golf cart. And you could tell this kid didn't understand certain things. They'd never been here in the U.S. And the child asked if he could pay to ride on the golf cart. And like I say, I don't know if it was a supervisor, he said, no, it's not a ride. But it tells you right there, and it shows that they don't understand because they're used to buying things in certain ways and doing certain things certain ways in other countries differently. And it just brings up some other things and issues here. And especially about the illegals that have come in here. Now last weekend, me and my son was there at Halloween hunt, and there was some, basically they looked like they were Mexican, and they cut in front of everybody. There was a line, we had been standing there for an hour and a half, and they must have known these other couple of guys that was way up in front because they offered them $10 if they could get in there with them. Well, there were some other people behind us that actually got very angry and mad, and they spotlighted them and told on them basically and stuff. And they didn't remove them at first. They didn't remove them. They waited till they got to the very front of the line, and then they just told them that they were going to call security, but they weren't going to allow them to go in actually and be able to go through the haunted house. But here is just another prime example. Again, I will say this, that some of the ones that have not lived here in the United States don't understand that. And it don't matter if they're Mexican. It don't matter if they're Haitian or they're black or if they're from Africa or anywhere else for that matter. So, different cultures, different countries, they've lived in different ways and they don't understand our ways the way we've been here. But we need to understand something too. And that's what I want to talk about. All these people that have come in illegally, the problem that people should be more concerned about is if these people are bringing any infectious diseases into our area. Now I'm going to explain something here for a minute. I ran a deal here, I want you guys to see this, on Haiti. And these are just some of the diseases. From cholera, malaria, influenza, which is like the flu, tetanus, diphtheria, hepatitis A and B, typhoid, dengue fever, and Zika. Not counting that they, in those countries too, have lots of rabies in animals, and they also recommend vaccination if anybody goes to either Haiti or Mexico, basically. But things to be concerned with is that, when we're children here in the United States, we were given vaccinations. Now, I don't think every vaccination works, but I think some do, and they are proven and have been reliable. Now, the DTaP definitely has been one that actually has shown proof that it does work. But, okay, say for example, okay, we'll take diphtheria. Okay, it can be airborne. You can get it from people coughing, sneezing, saliva, kissing someone, shared drinks. And it's a bacteria. It's actually a toxin like poison. Typhoid, for example, is actually a contaminated food or water. Basically, it's from feces, like poop. Not good, guys. And it also, now the typhoid actually can, in close contact with person to person, can be passed. Okay? Now cholera, which is different, it is not a risk factor in the sense. It won't spread like that. But the typhoid, they say, will. Dengue fever. Now, okay, people don't think about that either. But okay, it's from mosquitoes. Well, if it's down there, it's like, well, if it's down there, why do I need to worry about it? Well, a person cannot infect another person with this dengue fever, but they can infect other mosquitoes. And if this jumps to any other kind of species, even, then that could be a big problem. So if a person could be sick with that dengue fever, and say a mosquito here bit them, and that person infected that mosquito, and then it bit somebody else, it could spread. Now, they don't even know how many was down there underneath that bridge. I think that Jim Jordan said they thought, first they said 15,000, but they said it could have been up to 30,000 people that were down there. Now that's not good, because if any of this came in at all, I mean, we could be sitting on dynamite here, guys. Because, I mean, depending on what we'd have to have for vaccination-wise, and I can't even imagine. Now, going on, I had one even for Mexico there too. Polio, in 1981, 82, and 83, they tried to eliminate it down there. They did 80% of the population, but it did not include the rural area, okay? So, that was in 81, 82, 83, and it took out, I think they said, about 97% of their problem. But in all those rural areas that didn't get taken, how much of it still is there? And how much did it, since 81 or 82 or 83, how much more of it could be going on now? It's very contagious. We don't even, OPV has not even been used here in the United States since 2000 on the vaccination part of it. So, I don't know. Now, the whooping cough, That's another one. It's also contagious. Cough, sneeze, handshaking, hugs, kissing, shared drinks. Get it there too. Now the DTaP can take care of all that. But you have to get a booster every 10 years. How many of us that are adults, whether we're 30, 40, 50, 60, have got a DTaP booster? And how many people have come in here in the last year? Did they say almost 1 million people? And they don't even know if they had vaccinations? Now, I'm not worried. We're not talking about the coronavirus. We're talking about bacteria and viruses that have been around for ages here that we know have caused massive problems and people have died from even. I mean, we got typhoid, like I say, and the measles. Measles too is another thing to be aware of in all this. And most of all these diseases, we have vaccinations for today. Almost all of them you can get vaccinated for, almost. But some of these, I mean, if we start having people spread this like this and not say, you know, we've had 1 million people come in the last year and none of them been vaccinated, it wouldn't take but maybe, what, 2 to 5% to start spreading this? And we have this stuff almost eliminated here in the United States. I don't know. Now, vaccines don't always work. My son was vaccinated for the measles, and he actually caught it he was playing with some other kids, and they were from Mexico, and they hadn't been vaccinated either, but he had been vaccinated, and he caught it from them. So vaccinations don't always work either. Well, what I was told, supposedly, is some of the newer generations their bodies have changed, and even though that these vaccines were designed a certain way, they're not as effective on some of the newer generations too. So it's something else to be aware of about that even if you get vaccinated. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk about this for a little bit. But when I look at all this, there's been some other issues that have been brought up to me about this, and I thought that people should be aware of this. And like I say, I don't know if you guys can see that. But it could be very bad. And I mean, within next year, next summer, I mean, we could have a massive outbreak of a lot of these other diseases that we haven't seen in ages now. So this will be just a short little video, guys. Eyes open. Have a good one.